Test. He is named after Major General Bruno Hochmuth, who at the time of his death was the first general officer killed during the Vietnam War. Major General Hochmuth was also the commanding general of the depot from November of 1963 to February of 1967. General Hochmuth was awarded the Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit with Combat V for Valor, the Navy Commendation Medal with Gold Star in lieu of Third Award, and the Purple Heart with Gold Star in lieu of Third Award. Private First Class Bruno continues the tradition of a long line of Marine Corps Bulldog mascots dating back to 1921, when Brigadier General Smedley Butler appointed Sergeant Major Jiggs as the first Bulldog mascot for Marine Barracks, Quantico. Private First Class Bruno is being escorted by the Office of Communication Strategy and Operations, Corporal Joshua M. Dreyer. Spiritual development plays an important part in the making of a United States Marine. Lieutenant Brad D. Guillory, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, will deliver the graduation prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, some people wonder all their lives if they have made a difference. These Marines do not have that problem. We are intensely proud of each of them and their noble accomplishment. We are grateful for all those who have sacrificed to bring them to this day. As they go forth for flag and country, the Corps and glory, and for one another, send down your blessing upon them, O God, that they may come through any ordeal with dignity. Semper Fidelis. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, welcomes you to what is a historical event in the life of a Marine, their graduation from boot camp. Approximately 40 weeks each year for the past 100 years, new Marines have departed San Diego for service with units of the Marine Corps around the globe. The primary mission of the Recruit Depot is to provide basic training to recruits enlisted west of the Mississippi, which represents approximately 51% of all applicants in the Marine Corps each year. The depot is also home to Recruiter School and Drill Instructor School. All of our efforts here are geared toward one end, producing America's finest fighting force, the United States Marine Corps. This morning, Company E, 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment will form and march in the parade. Following the pass and review, the graduating Marines will return front and center of the reviewing stand for final dismissal. The staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the Recruit Training Regiment. The commander of troops is Captain Aiden J. Lang, Company Commander, Company E, 2nd Recruit Training Battalion. The parade adjutant is Captain Aaron M. Reynolds, Series Commander, Company F, 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Recruit Training Regiment. The marching units are now being called to attention, and the adjutant's command, sound adjutant's call, will begin today's parade. Marching in today's parade are 604 of the graduating Marines from Company E. Among the 604 Marines are 2 Marines who displayed outstanding performances in 2 individually graded events. Private Michael A. Morales from Platoon 2102 is the company high shooter, scoring a 343 out of 350. Private Jared Villanueva from Platoon 2106 is the most physically fit Marine, scoring a 300 out of 300 on the physical fitness test and a 300 out of 300 on the combat fitness test. They will be receiving awards from the Marine Corps Association and Foundation. Present today is the Company Honor Graduates Recruiter, Staff Sergeant Priscilla Quiros. Also present today is the Primary Marksmanship Instructor with the platoon high shooting average of 218 out of 250, Sergeant Imaris Blackman. Recruit training is comprised of subjects required to produce basic Marines who function effectively in garrison, are trained in rudimentary individual field and combat skills, and practice the personal and professional traits which distinguishes them as Marines. Example of these traits are discipline, the achievement of self-control and self-awareness which assures reliance to maintain or improve those qualify a Marine. Military bearing consisting military presence and personal awareness, as well as the proper wearing and maintenance of uniforms. Esprit de corps, acquiring the common spirit of the Marine Corps that inspires enthusiasm, devotion, pride, initiative, teamwork, aggressiveness, determination, moral courage, integrity, camaraderie, and the burning desire to work with and for others towards excellence in common goals. For 247 years, Marines have fought and won whenever and wherever the nation calls, in the harshest conditions, over the most brutal terrain, and against the most formidable enemies. Marines defend the ideals of freedom with grit and tenacity. Although battlefields change and capabilities evolve, history proves that true victory comes from the individual Marine with steeled resolve, the drive to overcome any obstacle, and the warrior spirit to fight on against all odds. It takes that steadfast faithfulness, semper fidelis, to corps, country, and each other that abounds throughout our storied legacy. Marines today remain in combat or deployed throughout the world, confronting every challenge with courage, loyalty, and faithfulness. They are resolved to be the most ready when the nation is least ready, to defend freedom anytime and anywhere, to stand ready to aid those devastated by natural disasters, to pay tribute to those who have forged our proud legacy, and to honor the families and loved ones who faithfully stand beside us. For the Marines of Company E, today marks the end of the 13-week recruit training cycle. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton, as well as on this parade deck, and have been trained, as are all Marines, as basic riflemen. In addition, due to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the recruit depot. They are Marines, qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. The platoons are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the parade. The next portion of the ceremony will be our national anthem. We welcome veterans and members of the armed forces to join us in rendering appropriate honors with the military salute. For guests who have not served in the military, it is proper etiquette during the national anthem to place their right hands over their hearts, and for those in the audience wearing headgear to remove it. Will the guests please rise for the presentation of the colors? Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. At the command, post the colors. The color guard moves into position within the parade. This signifies that the entirety of the parade has been formed and is ready to be presented to the command. Following the command, parade rest, the parade adjutant will give the command sound off, which signals the band to parade forward of the assembled Marines while playing military marching music. The parade adjutant now presents the assembled command to the commander of troops. At the command, Officers Center March. All unit commanders and Guidon bearers march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with the tradition of once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. At this time, those in the audience who have served as Marines, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the battalion commander for 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel James R. Smith.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Brigadier General James A. Ryans, the Commanding General of the Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego in the Western Recruiting Region, as well as on behalf of Colonel Peter M. Rumler, the Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Regiment, welcome to the graduation of Company E. To start, I'd like to recognize today's parade reviewing official, Colonel Quinter, whose impressive biography you will hear shortly and who presently serves as the Commanding Officer of the Marine Air Control Group 38. Sir, it's an honor to have you. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to recognize our partners in the United States Navy who today celebrate the 248th anniversary of their founding. So to all the sailors in the air, on the sea, and under the waves, to those at port and those underway, and particularly to the medical and the religious personnel who serve with the Marine Corps, we say happy birthday, shipmates. It's my distinct pleasure to speak to you this morning for a few minutes to express both the pride and the gratitude which I feel for this formation behind me. And that begins with you, the friends and families of these new Marines. Thank you for your love and support on their journey to this momentous day. Thank you for trusting us with your loved one, and thank you for your continued support in their new vocation. From all of us, welcome to the Marine Corps family. And speaking of families, seated to the right of the reviewing stand are the families of the Company E staff. And no one knows more than you the time and dedication it takes to transform a civilian into a United States Marine. Sergeant Major and I are incredibly grateful for your sacrifice and support, which enables these drill instructors and officers to perform this critical task. Ladies and gentlemen, would you join me in a round of applause for the families of the Empire? You know, making Marines is truly a team effort. And at the forefront of that effort are Marine recruiters stationed across this great country. These men and women work tirelessly to identify, educate, and inspire the next generation of Marines. This legion of recruiters are represented today by Staff Sergeant Kinrose from Recruiting Substation, Costa Mesa, California, who is responsible for guiding the company honor graduate, Lance Corporal Pratt, into our Corps. And for any of you 17 to 28-year-olds out here inspired by what you see, my honor recruiter has assured me she'll speak to you immediately following graduation. Come on down, she'll change your life. Our other partner in the endeavor to make Marines are the instructors at Weapons Field Training Battalion, who teach the critical combat skills necessary to fight and win in any climate and place. They are represented today by Sergeant Blackman, the primary marksmanship instructor for the platoon with the highest average on the rifle range. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our recruiters and our combat instructors. Well done, Marines. The last group I'd like to recognize certainly needs no introduction, for everyone knows the distinct campaign cover of a legendary Marine Corps drill instructor. And from the moment a recruit arrives on the depot, there is a drill instructor with them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, tirelessly instilling the qualities and esprit de corps of a United States Marine and leaving an indelible mark on those they lead. Trust me, your Marine will never forget the name, the face, or that sweet, tender, gentle, loving voice of their drill instructors. Ladies and gentlemen, one last round of applause for the Marines who make Marines, the drill instructors of the Empire. Now, these Marines behind me are on average 19-year-old high school graduates, and 3 have college degrees. They come to us from every state and territory in the Western Recruiting Region and 9 countries around the world, traveling from India, Mexico, and Ireland. And when they raised their right hand and swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, they differentiated themselves from 99% of their peers. Upon arrival here, these drill instructors forged them in the fires of martial discipline, shaping their minds and bodies in the mold of generations of Marines who have worn our cloth. These new Marines proved themselves worthy and capable, carrying heavy loads, long distances, over rugged, mountainous terrain to be where they're needed, when they're needed, to accomplish any mission. Now, you may notice some change in your new Marine. They stand a little taller, look a little leaner, sport an outstanding Marine Corps hairstyle, and moms and dads, I guarantee they know how to make their beds. But the truly important change is the one which has taken place within, for they've been immersed in our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. And by virtue of standing here today, they have embraced them as their own. And it is because of this, because of the journey they have undergone, and because of the moral, mental, and physical development they have displayed, that I am pleased to present 604 young men and women who can forever proudly claim the title of United States Marine. And if you'd excuse me for just a minute, I'd like to address the newest members of our Corps. Good morning, Marines. Sergeant Major and I are incredibly proud of you. We've watched you learn, strive, and grow these past months, and we are pleased to welcome you to our ranks. You can be justifiably proud of what you've accomplished here. You earned your tan belt in our martial arts training. Some of you learned to swim in water survival training, and many overcame a fear of heights on our confidence and obstacle course. You learned weapons employment to deliver precision fires on targets from a staggering distance of 500 yards. And in a final test, you completed the grueling crucible, where you were required to demonstrate exemplary character, physical and mental toughness, the ability to decide, act, and communicate, leadership, and a warfighter spirit. And every Marine, past and present, expects you to display those same attributes in your future trials. So having completed the most grueling recruit training on this globe, you are ready to carry on our legacy as America's Naval Expeditionary Force in readiness. As you go forward on the next leg of your journey, I implore you to be safe, be smart, and make good decisions. Remember, that Eagle Globe and Anchor pressed into the palm of your hand represents 247 years of Marines who've come before you. You must always be worthy of that legacy and protect what you have earned. And so on behalf of the Marines, sailors, and civilians here aboard Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, I wish you a traditional naval parting of fair winds and following seas. Congratulations, Marines. Semper Fidelis, welcome to the Corps.
Now taking their position in the reviewing area is today's parade reviewing official, Colonel Jason P. Quinter, Commanding Officer, Marine Air Control Group 38. He is accompanied by Colonel Peter M. Rumler, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Regiment. Colonel Quinter was commissioned in August of 1999 after graduating from North Carolina State University. Upon graduation of the basic school, he was assigned an 06-02 communications officer. Colonel Quinter has served in a variety of challenging billets in numerous commands to include platoon commander, Training Officer, Operations Officer, and Executive Officer for Communications Company's 2nd Marine Division. S6 and Platoon Commander for Battalion Landing Team 1-8, 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Joint Task Force, Liberia. Company Commander and Battalion Operations Officer for 9th Communications Battalion. Commanding Officer for Region 7, Marine Corps Embassy Security Group. Assistant Chief of Staff, G6, 1st Marine Expeditionary Brigade, and Deputy Assistant Chief of Staff, G6, at 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. Colonel Quinter currently serves as the Commanding Officer of Marine Air Control Group 38. Colonel Quinter's personal decorations include the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal with 2 gold stars, the Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal with gold star, the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, and the Combat Action Ribbon with gold star. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Colonel Jason P. Quinter.
Sir, the parade is formed. March the command in review. Aye, sir. Snap. Carry. Sir. Pass. On. Review. Aye. March.
The pass and review is a tradition within all military units, allowing the unit commander to formally inspect the unit under their charge.
Forward. March.
More than 1 million Marines have been trained here in the past 100 years and have departed San Diego for combat in conflicts around the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication. Names such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Busan, Incheon, Chosin Reservoir, Quezon, Way City, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, Somalia, Fallujah, Ramadi, Marja, Sangin, and our most current operations worldwide. This parade deck is rich in history and tradition, and no Marine trained here ever forgets its sights and sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, as the national flag passes directly in front of you, please rise. Once it passes, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops, Captain Aidan J. Lang, and the regimental staff. Marine Men, San Diego, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Series 2101, Series Commander Captain Brandon L. Carter, and Platoon 2101, Senior Drill Instructor Sergeant Matthew J. Ross. Honor Platoon 2102, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Abe S. Anguis. Platoon 2103, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Daniel M. Reyes. The Regimental Color Guard is led on the march by the Regimental Color Sergeant, Drill Instructor Sergeant Rodolfo Navarrete. Series 2105, Series Commander Captain Crystal L. Young, and Platoon 2105, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Janet Barraza. Platoon 2106, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Jesus R. Aguilera. Platoon 2107, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Kyle D. Stanage. Ladies and gentlemen, if you turn to page 21 of your graduation pamphlets, you will find the Marines hymn, The Marines hymn has a history dating back to 1859, and it has a long-standing tradition for Marines to face the direction of the music and stand at attention when it is heard. It is now directed that all Marines present and who have served honorably, and ladies and gentlemen, you're all encouraged to join. Sing the words to the first verse as Marine Band San Diego performs Anchors Away, followed by the Marines hymn. Will the guests please rise? Thank you. Please be seated.
Sir, this concludes today's parade. Dismiss the staff. Aye, sir.
The Marine Corps' uniqueness and strength as an elite fighting force is directly attributable to the magnificent efforts of the drill instructors and company officers who train and supervise the recruits. The distinct qualities of spirit and discipline, the heart and soul of every Marine, have been developed, nurtured, and ingrained in recruits through their observance and relationship with their drill instructors and officers. Recruit training is the very foundation of the Corps. Each year, recruit training provides thousands of America's finest young men and women with the basic knowledge and skills to function in a profession characterized by its own set of high values and tough standards. The most important thing we do in the Marine Corps is make Marines. The individual Marine is the Corps. That is what we do here. For the Marines graduating today, the long, arduous journey of the last 13 weeks is but a small step into the future of the Marine Corps. As they prepare to fill the ranks of our Corps, they do so with unquestionable support for the high ideals and standards of the United States of America and the United States Marine Corps. Although Company E prepares for their final dismissal from boot camp, their initial training is not over. Soon after graduation, they'll report to the School of Infantry, Camp Pendleton, California, where they will continue to be trained to serve as an effective member of a Marine Rifle Squad. The intense initial training that every Marine undergoes is designed to instill the fundamental premise that every Marine is a rifleman. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to introduce to you the Marines responsible for ensuring the success of the difficult transition required to become a Marine. The company commander is Captain Aidan J. Lang. The company first sergeant is First Sergeant Sevy C. Crabtree. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the company staff of Company E. The next portion of the ceremony will be the traditional function of retiring the Guidons.
Guide! Sergeant! March!
The Guidons have been carried by the platoons throughout recruit training and are being retired to symbolize the disbanding of platoons. All similar units in the Marine Corps carry such Guidons, which identify the unit and are a source of pride to each individual member. Note that the honor of carrying these Guidons is bestowed upon those Marines who displayed outstanding leadership qualities, motivation, and character, and were selected as the Platoon Honor Graduates. The Platoon Honor Graduates compete for the titles of Series and Company Honor Graduate. They are considered the top Marines graduating today and have demonstrated the highest potential for future leadership and responsibility in the Marine Corps.
Sit down! Hey! Forward! March! Order! Guidon!
The Guidons will now be returned to the drill instructors.
Forward! Halt! About heads!
The honor graduates will now be presented a plaque by the battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel James R. Smith, and the battalion sergeant major, First Sergeant Amina T. Sarake. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause until all honor graduates have been recognized.
Present! Out! Order! Out!
The honor graduate for Platoon 2101 is Private First Class Xavier Q. Kindred from Killeen, Texas. The honor graduate for platoon 2102 and the series honor graduate is Private First Class Donovan M. Cressini from Cheyenne, Wyoming. The honor graduate from platoon 2103 is Private First Class Alexis O. Lopez from Laredo, Texas. The honor graduate for platoon 2105 is Private First Class Morgan S. Moody from Glendale, Oregon. The honor graduate for platoon 2106 and the company graduate is Lance Corporal Tyrone L. Pratt from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Lance Corporal Pratt is also the recipient of the Chesty Puller Award for his outstanding meritorious performance while in recruit training. And the honor graduate for platoon 2107 is Private First Class Jason J. Calvin from Stockton, California. Ladies and gentlemen, the honor graduate of Company E.
Company First Sergeant.
Company First Sergeant Corey's order.
Dismiss the company.
Aye, aye, sir.
The company first sergeant will now give the command to the senior drill instructors to dismiss their platoons. Needless to say, this will be the most welcome command they have received throughout recruit training.
Senior drill instructors, dismiss your platoons.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony.